Gentlemen, the modern day no-shave November is upon us. 2,000 years ago, a Stoic philosopher named Musonius Rufus had a book written now called Lectures and Sayings. In chapter 21, named by Musonius from the lecture about cutting hair, ancient advice about cutting your hair and beard. He said a man should cut his hair the way we prune vines, by removing only what is useless. The beard should not be shaved, since it is protection provided to us by nature. Furthermore, the beard is the emblem of manhood, the human equivalent of the cock's crest and the lion's mane. Therefore, a man ought to remove hair that is bothersome, but not his beard. A beard, after all, causes no bother, as long as the body is healthy and not diseased in a way that would require shaving it. Zeno, he said, was right. Just as our hair grows in accordance with nature, so we should cut it in accordance with nature. When, for example, it gets too heavy or hinders our movements. Nature clearly favors too much over too little, both in plants and animals, because it is much easier and less troublesome to remove excess than to supply what is lacking. Humans should use reason to assist nature, to supply what is missing and remove what is excessive. Therefore, hair should be cut to remove the excess, not to become elegant, as some think they must do. These men shave in order to look like beardless boys, or, by Zeus, like boys who are just getting their beards. They also do not have their hair cut a uniform length, yet these attempts at beautifications fail. Men who cut their hair clearly do so to look beautiful to those they wish to please. They trim and arrange their hair to attract the attention of women and boys whose praise they seek. Other men cut their hair clearly because it bothers them, but they shave their beards. Clearly, such men have been broken by luxurious living and have become completely emasculated. They don't mind looking androgynous and womanlike, something real men would never tolerate. By Zeus, hair is no more a burden for men than feathers are for birds. Now, to give you a little background on Musonius Rufus, if you ever look him up, you may hear him. His real name is Gaius Musonius Rufus, and he was born a little less than 2,000 years ago in the year 30 AD. So obviously, some of the stuff we hear from the Stoics, this was from a different time and culture. If you look a lot of the ancient Stoics, they have kind of long, crazy hair, and it doesn't seem super kempt as we do in our culture now. But really, the takeaway from this is, really, we shouldn't have anything in life to excess. I used to have long hair down my back, and I ended up cutting it because I was in the construction industry and it was just far too hot in the summertime. But even now, I only cut my regular hair twice a year, and I maintain my beard myself. But if I didn't trim it, once a week, if I didn't shave, I'd have hair up to my eyes. I'd look like the wolf man. I'd have hair down my neck. So obviously I participate in things where it is an advantage to look more presentable, to not have a strangly beard with all different lengths hair. And anyone who knows me will tell you when I do my hair, I'm very particular about it, and I use layers upon layers of gel and glue to keep it in place. So I'm guilty of vanity in my own way. A little background on Gaius Musonius Rufus, who Musonius Rufus is one of my favorite Stoics. He was one of the four great Roman Stoic philosophers, the other three being Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. And the big thing with Stoicism back then was their belief that man is by nature a rational animal, right? And it is best for us to live in accordance with nature. We were given reasoning ability, and in doing so, that sets us apart from the animals. And the Stoics concluded that if we want to have a good life, we need to behave in a rational manner. Because a person whose emotions are out of control, like mine used to be, people who are given to fits of anger, of fear, of envy, of lust, or despair, that person's little more than a beast, and such a person is unlikely to have a good life. One of the primary objectives of philosophy is to reveal us our shortcomings so we can overcome them and thereby live a good life. So this week, when I was reading this book maybe a year or two ago, I take extensive notes when I read any book, especially, a book I'm studying like this. And I remember putting a note in my notebook, No Shave November, because I read that one chapter that was about maintaining a beard, and it was about promoting having a beard, and the modern day trend of No Shave November. So I thought it was cool to, read that chapter this year. So I'm glad I remembered that note and read that out for you guys. But Musonius Rufus was the main philosopher that promoted philosophy for women. He believed that women should learn how to control their emotions just as much as men should. And that really stood apart back in those times from other leaders of the day who didn't agree that women should have equal roles or equal mindset and rational thoughts as men should. This book, Musonius Rufus, it's called The Lectures and Sayings. It's little chapters of things he spoke about, and it's everything from marriage to food and what you should do when you get old, and what happens if someone assaults you. Like here, I just flipped to the chapter here. From the lecture showing that women should also study philosophy. A woman should also be self-controlled. She must be free from sexual improprieties and must exercise self-control over other pleasures. She must not be a slave to desires. So, there's so many cool chapters in this book. It's a short, really edible book. You could read a chapter a day, and I really recommend this, really highly recommend this book. It's a good starter book for people who want to get into philosophy. It's very edible for the modern day. You should get the translated version by Cynthia King. And I really challenge everyone, look at the hours that you spend, your screen time on your phone. Check out your screen time, right? And mostly everyone's screen time is completely out of control, right? Even my own, I'm guilty of that. So I challenge everyone, when we were kids, everyone I hear all the time, oh, I hate reading, I hate reading. Most of the time people I feel hate reading is because when we were growing up as kids, we were forced to read certain books. And a lot of those books were books that we didn't want to read. So like anything in life, that childhood memory sticks with us, right? So find a book that you really enjoy reading to get your foot back in the door with reading, right? Whether it's, someone influential that you really look up to, or a person of history that you look up to, read their autobiography or a biography about them, something that will get you back into reading, right? And then, venture into the self-help sector, venture into philosophy books, Stoic philosophy, I'm biased with that. I really urge everyone, right away. You don't have to, say, all right, in the new year I'll do it. Do it right now. And, use eBay as a tool if you need to, if you're tight on money. eBay is a great place to get used books. A lot of them you can get from charities. So I really recommend going on there, look for the charity used books. And that way you're helping out a good cause and you're also helping yourself. So I appreciate everyone stopping by for this fireside chat this week. And I'm really excited. I finally have my first interview set. It'll be airing in a couple of weeks. It is with a really notable figure in the area. And I'm so excited to sit down with this person and be able to venture into this new sector for the club, which I really want to do, which is interviewing notable people that have overcome adversity and they've become a stronger person and they're really willing to share their story to help other people. Thank you everyone for stopping by today. I know it's a windy day. I know the smoke's blowing all over the place, but I really want to just have a little fireside chat this week for No Shave November special. And I appreciate everyone for stopping by. Please like and subscribe to both our Instagram and our YouTube. It'll really help the club grow. I have a lot of big plans for this channel, so please, if you could, hit both apps if you can, YouTube and Instagram, like, subscribe, share it if you really enjoyed it. I really appreciate everyone stopping by this week and supporting the club. We've only been going for a couple months, but we have huge plans for this club, and the support so far has been more than I could have hoped for or expected, so I really appreciate it. And if you guys have an extra couple bucks in your pocket, holidays are coming up. If you want to stock up for yourself or a loved one in your life, check out the Stoic Social Club clothing line. where we have a full line of awesome gear. We have a ton of different designs on there that our in-house artist, Bobby, who's actually my tattoo artist, he does all our designing. Really sick stuff over there, all Stoic inspired. We have stuff for women, men, children, and even pets. The furry ones in your life, we got stuff on there for them too. We have household items as well. So please go check it out. Even if you don't have money right now, just go check it out. That way you know for the future, you want to stock up, put it in your tabs. I really appreciate everyone for stopping by today. I hope everyone has an awesome and successful week coming up. And I really appreciate everyone for stopping by today. And I'm stoked to see everyone next time right here at the Stoic Social Club.